Recording in progress.
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Kathopanishad, Dvitiya Valli, verse number 4 and second last sentence in the Bhashya. Kasmad yasmad avidvad buddhi pralobhinaha. That one we are doing. And here we are looking at the fourth verse. Where is it gone? Fourth verse said, Duramete viparite vishuchi avidyaya cha vidyeti jnata vidyabhipsinam nachiketa sammanye natva kama bahavo lolupanta. So, in this verse, the Lord is speaking to Nachiket, or he is thinking to himself, whichever way we take, he is speaking to him. So that which has been known as Vidya and Avidya, they both take you to opposite destinations, and Duram ete viparite. Duram, they take each other far away. Viparitam in opposite directions. Vishuchi, destination. Avidya yacha vidyeti jnata. Those who know Avidya and Vidya, they know that their destination is far away from each other in opposite direction. Vidya bhipsinam nachiketasam manye. And of me, I know that, oh Nachiket, abhipsinam nachiketasam manye, vidya abhipsinam. I know that Nachiket, you are desirous of vidya, you are desirous of shreyas, you are desirous of the path of good, not of the pleasant, and because na tva kama bahavo lolupanta, alolupanta, because even after I have tempted you with so many different things, nothing grabbed your imagination, nothing grabbed your attention, you did not succumb to it. We have to see life. What is this life? This life is where death is the constant. It is a foregone conclusion that every one of us is going to, this body is going to die one day. And if we take it as a principle, everything that has come into existence must go out of existence. That going out of existence is called as death. Whether you take it as day or night or year or body or what you see, hear, touch, feel, taste, or your breath, or your thoughts, all your concepts, your ideas, your imaginations, waker, dreamer, sleeper, all of them are being born and all of them are going out of existence on everyday basis. Every moment to moment this is taking place, depends upon where your attention is. This is a foregone conclusion. And you, Nachiket, I see that you. Remember in the first 3 verses, 4 verses, he explained what was Shreyas and Preyas. We looked at it exhaustively. Now, having made those statements about Shreyas and Preyas, the path of good and path of pleasant, now he says, Nachiket, I know that you are a seeker of Shreyas. You want the highest good. You are not interested in the pleasant. You are not interested in the sensory fulfillments. See? So now you watch yourself. You meaning me too, and I'm talking my mind also. When I say you, it is my mind. You watch yourself. That is it succumbing to the sensory stimuli? Is it succumbing to past memories? Is it succumbing to nears and dears? Is it succumbing to that I am the body, I am this, I am that? We are many years, whole lockdown I didn't go out. I want to drink that coffee in that particular coffee shop, Let's go to where? Warburton. Let's go to Warburton. Why? At the end of Warburton shopping center, there is that ice cream fellow. Homemade ice cream. Very nice. What about सत्संग? यार सत्संग तो होती रहती है, एक दिन में क्या होता है? पहाड़ तो नहीं गिर जाता. Mountain doesn't fall. I will catch up. I will catch up. This is not the disposition of Nachiketa. And if that Nachiketa Agni is within us, and it is burning brightly, its tongues are high, then it will not allow any of these desires to take root within us. It will not allow our mind and senses to be tempted by anything in this creation. That is the meaning of Nachiket, who is not distracted, tempted by anything. Absolutely clear as to what the goal is. Invoke that Nachiket within. And here he says, Tatra vidya bhipsinam vidyarthinam nachiketasam tvam aham manye. And among all these rooms, among all those people, I find you, Nachiketa, who is vidya bhipsinam, vidyarthinam. So I see you as desirous of vidya, Shreyas, path of good. In other words, you are I see you as a student of truth. You are a student who wants to know the ultimate. Vidyarthinam nachiketasam. Kasmad yasmad avidvad buddhi pralobhinah kama apsaraha prabhrityaha bahavaha api tvam na अलोलुपंता न विच्छेदम कृतवन्तः श्रेयो मार्गाद आत्मः उपभोगा भिवांछा संपादनेन अतो विद्यार्थिनं श्रेयो भाजनं मन्य इति अभिप्रायः. He says, why do I believe this? Because those who are having no discrimination, indiscriminative intellect, they get easily attracted by the apsaras, attracted by the various bhogas, various sense enjoyments, and all of those sense enjoyments and apsaras which I presented to you without asking, you did not fall for them. They could not take they could not change your mind, and and they did not create a desire in your heart and mind and deviate you from the path of the Shreyas. All this is for us. When you are on the seat of meditation, when you are sitting at home happily, suddenly a desire comes, let's go for a coffee. Gaya kaam se. Or you are sitting at home and nothing to do. Oh, wife is also not doing anything, or husband is not doing anything. Arre, I think it's a good time to have tea. Kar do usko busy. So all these did not deviate you from the path of good, path of Shreyas. अतः विद्यार्थिनं श्रेयो भाजनं मन्ये अति अभिप्रायः. Therefore, and therefore I consider you. अतः, therefore, विद्यार्थिनं श्रेयो भाजनं मन्ये. I understand you to be, or I accept you to be, or I see you to be the a student who is qualified for the path of Shreyas, qualified for the path of good. And we must, Adi Shankaracharya is saying, iti abhiprayah. It should be understood in this manner. Because the verse said, but now Adi Shankaracharya is opening up the box, opening up that verse, how each word has to be, in what manner it has to be interacted with. So he says, understand it in this manner. Now in the next verse he says, अविद्यायाम् अंतरे वर्तमानाः, अविद्यायाम् अंतरे वर्तमानाः, स्वयं धीरा पंडितं मन्यमानाः, स्वयं धीरा पंडितं मन्यमानाः, दन्द्रम्यमाणा पर्यन्ति मूढा, दन्द्रम्यमाणा पर्यन्ति मूढा, अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः, अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः. Together, अविद्यायामन्तरे वर्तमानाः, स्वयं धीरा पंडितं मन्यमानाः, दन्द्रम्यमाणा पर्यन्ति मूढा, अन्धेनैव नीयमाना यथान्धाः. What does it say? He says, now here in this verse, ye tu sansara bhajanaha. What is, so he says, I see you as qualified for the path of Shreyas. What about those who are not qualified for the path of Shreyas? Those who are following the path of prayers, the path of the pleasant. Who are those? Though they are the people who are the worldly type. Sansara bhajanaha. They are qualified for living only in sansar. Who are these? The avidya rupi, meaning those who are ignorant. Who are ignorant? Those who are not seeking the higher. Another way, those whose discriminative intellect has not fired up yet. They are still living in the default. What is that? What do you mean by living in the default? Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhira pandita manyamanaha. So here he says that living in the middle of this ignorance, and living in the middle of ignorance, avidyayam antare vartamanaha, in the present time, living in the middle of ignorance, And then Swayam Dhira Panditam Manyamanaha, and considering themselves to be highly intellectual and intelligent, like us, giving lectures. And regarding themselves as highly intelligent and learned, the ignorant go round and round. Dandramyamana Paryanti Mudha. They go round and round in many crooked ways, like the blind leading the blind, or the blind led by the blind. Are we relating to Nachiket, or are we relating to this verse? I guess both. So, even more urgency is required, that recognize that we don't want to go through this cyclical creation. Waking, dream, sleep, waking, dream, sleep, waking, dream, sleep. This birth, next birth, this birth, reincarnation, reincarnation. Prarabdha, prarabdha, this is my prarabdha, this is my destiny. Why? Because from the past life, I think it is because of that. Get out of all this. Don't care about prarabdha, don't care about destiny, don't care about future, don't care about past. Then what do you care about? Only one, the ultimate. How do I gain immortality? How do I be immortal while living? That is our urgency, not anything else. Everything else, leave it for the ignorant. There are many. For every person who's walking the path or is interested in the path, there are millions behind him who are fools. You don't be one of them. You turn. We told you in one of the verses before, at every moment of your life, you are at the crossroads. Do you choose the prayas, or do you choose the shreyas? Do you choose the path of the pleasant, which is easy, or do you choose the path of good, which may be a little bit hard to begin with, but ultimately delivers the highest good? What is our orientation? But we attend satsangs, and over in a party, over a drink, we want to discuss spirituality. I am attending satsangs, I am doing this Upanishad, and what is in the hand? Liquid spirituality. And deep discussion is going on. What discussion you will get? When I came back from the ashram to Melbourne, one group of people whom I knew before I became brahmachari, they invited me. I went out of good faith. But as usual, we are Hindus, we are this, we are that. But everyone has a beer, and they have some drink of some sort. What can I say? And after the food was taken, still now, what do you call that? After dinner drinks were going on. Not appetizers, something. And over that, come here, we want to ask you something. Now their mind has become quiet because of the food and alcohol. Now suddenly they are interested in spirituality. What do you think of this? I said, I don't think about anything. No, what do you think? Was Ram there or not there? Was Krishna there or not there? This is their spirituality. I said, whatever you believe. For me, they are not a topic of discussion. No, फिर भी you studied for 2 years, you must be having an opinion. I said, I don't have an opinion. Are we one of those? बोलते हैं ना, बाल की खाल निकालने वाले. Remain subjective, everything will fall in place. Remain aware. So, the commentary goes. What is the commentary? One moment. F 54, 55. अविद्यायाम अंतरे मध्ये घनीभूत इव तमसी वर्तमाना वेष्ट्यमानाः पुत्र पुत्र पश्वादि तृष्णा पाशशतैः. But these men, who are these men? Whom are we talking about? But these men who are living in samsara. Those people who are living in sansar, worldly people, ignorant people, who are in the midst of ignorance, who are in the midst of darkness, in the midst of illusion, and entangled in the matrix, like Neo was. We are entangled in what we see, hear, touch, feel, taste. We are entangled in emotions. We are entangled in relationships. We are entangled in wealth. We are entangled in memories. We are entangled in expectations. We are entangled in judgments, biasness, our profession. We are entangled in waking, dreaming, sleeping. You can go on. Make your own list. How many things I am entangled in? You make your own list. Then only you will say, my God, you will start becoming disgusted with yourself. By default, I am entangled in so many things. Wow, baapre. Nothing to be proud of. So ignorant people living in this samsara, living in this world, are entangled in this n number of entanglements, attachments. And what are those entanglements and attachments? They are putra pashwadi trishna pasha shataihi. Hundreds, shataihi, hundreds of children, hundreds of animals, hundreds of wealth. They want that. And if that doesn't stop there, then they want grandchildren also, then great grandchildren also. I wish I can remain alive for my great grandchildren. What are you going to achieve by that? So, etc. स्वयं वयं धीराः प्रज्ञावन्तः पंडिताः शास्त्र कुशलाः च इति मन्यमानास्ते दन्द्रम्यमाणा okay manyamanaha, till there we'll do it. And what do they think? Yeah. Just like a blind person comes across so many difficulties and obstacles along the way because he is blind. Similarly, these ignorant people, these sansaric people, meaning worldly people, think that they are intelligent, think that they are buddhiman, and what do they? Swayam vayam dhiraha, that they are steady, prajnavantaha, that they are intelligent, panditaha, that they know everything, shastra kushalaha, they know all the scriptures, cha iti manyamanaha, this is how they believe themselves to be. They live in their own imaginary world of ignorance, considering अपने बोलते हैं ना, अपने मुंह मियाँ मिट्ठू. That it is. That is what it is. thinking great of themselves. I can chant the entire Bhagavad Gita. I can chant the entire Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana. I know it by heart. You can imagine when we were studying in ashram, there were people. There was one student who could chant the entire Valmiki Ramayana, younger than me. Another one knew the entire Bhagavad Gita. Another one knew the entire Tulsi Ramayana. And then they come and ask me, what do you know? I don't even know one shloka. What is our situation at that time? If we continue to compare with those people, I will be puss. No inspiration to go through for 2 years. But is that the knowledge? Or is that show off of knowledge? If you know it, keep quiet. But little bit we know, we want to exhibit. Little bit we have understood, we want to share it and exhibit with others. Thinking, we are great. Like the other day I went to someone's house and they were telling me something, and suddenly with reference to that, one person, he said some shloka. And when he said that shloka, he said, Swamiji, you know that shloka, no? I didn't even look at him because I don't know any shloka. Swami, you don't know, you take lectures, you don't know. No, I don't know. Am I proud of that? No. Should I know? Yes. Should I not know? No. Whatever the Lord wishes. My goal is very clear. Is our goal clear? Do we want to be a Pandit? Remember, Amrit Anubhav, words devalued. What you want to remember? But it is also important that once you know, then you devalue them. Without knowing, how can you devalue? How can you devalue the world when you don't even know what the world is? So you need to know what the world is. You understand? How can you give up the body, breath, mind, intellect when you don't even know what constitutes body, breath, mind, intellect? Unless and until you don't understand their composition, till then you will not be able to give up. Same way. So similarly, we are very Dheer means we are very intelligent, and we are Pandit means we are very well versed in the Shastras. In this manner, those who consider themselves to be intelligent but are actually stupid, they are mood. Mood, here it says, Manyamanaha te dandramyamana atyartham कुटिलाम अनेक रूपाम गतिम इच्छन्तः जरा मरण रोगादि दुःखैः परिगच्छन्ति मूढाः अविवेकिनः अंधेन एव दृष्टिविहीनेन एव नीयमाना विषमे पथि यथा बहवो अंधा महान्तम अनर्थमृच्छन्ति तद्वत्. So such people, those who consider themselves to be dhiraha, prajnavantaha, panditaha, shastra kushalaha, such people, they are aviveki, they are non-discriminative, and they desiring unwanted destinations. Kutilam anek rupam gatim. Or they desiring and very difficult places they take themselves. And what are those? What are those difficult places? Those difficult places are: I want to be a father, I want a child, I want to be a king, I want to be a what you call sannyasi, I want to migrate, I want to go for Char Dham Yatra, walking. And who are you? You don't have a leg. So desire is more, capability zero. And desiring such destinations, they go through birth, death, disease, and miseries, and between with all this, they keep roaming around again and going through the cycle again and again and again and again. Look at yourself. You don't have to go to next life. In this life itself, haven't we gone through every day when we wake up? Some day we are very healthy, other days we are very down health wise. Then we go under operation table or we take some painkillers and the pain goes away. After that again the pain is there, again the misery is there. This is cyclical life. Every breakfast, lunch, dinner, cyclical. And what do you do with that? What do you eat? Little bit nutrition, rest is all out. But it doesn't click. So I want to eat more. So I pass out more. And if something else is taken by mistake, then what has to be passed out doesn't get passed out, all staying inside. Again go to the doctor. Have you seen any animal going to a doctor? Immediately, if something is not right, they eat grass, fast for 2 days, fix themselves up, and then start eating again. But we are so addicted to our food, dosa, idli, sambar, that we, even if we are on the deathbed, even if we know that this sweet is going to destroy our health, little bit, and just I will take stevia, I will not take sugar. But it never comes to our mind that I will not eat, I will refrain till I get back to normal. That is our lot. This is Sansaric people going through the cyclical life of what? Birth, death, disease, and misery, again and again and again and again and again and again. Not only life after life, year after year, day after day, moment after moment. This is the destiny of the Mudhaha. Are we falling in that category, or are we falling in the category of Nachiket? Fine tune yourself, change the trajectory of your life. Nobody else can do it for you. Lecture cannot do it for you. No master can do it for you. And even if some master does it, it will be only temporary. So that you get, oh my God, this is possibility. In the end, you have to make it your own. You have to make your own decisions. Remember, I gave you that example of that person who, when he was 14, 15 years old, somehow, some past life, I want to experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And a Tibetan master came into his life. He said, what do you want? I want Nirvikalpa. He took him to Tibet, touched his head. He was for 6 years in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He came out of it only because the master was breathing his last. His sankalpa was weakening. From that day till I met him in Haridwar, in the ashram, in one of the ashrams. That was almost 8, 12 years, 11 years after. He has not been able to sit in Nirvikalpa Samadhi because it was not his own. If now that he has experienced it, if he orients his life in preparing and abiding in Nirvikalp, that is a good thing. But if not, just living in the memory of that experience of 6 years, telling everyone, and then he's lost the plot. Are we like that? Opportunity is there. Every day satsang is there. One day Nachiketa, one day Arjuna, one day Ram and Sita, one day Jnaneshwar Maharaj with his experience of realization, another day Valmiki, another day Tulsi Ramayana. Every day there is an opportunity. But have we become a default listener and not a subjective listener? For that, alertness and vigilance is required every moment. A deep urgency to know. And that nobody can transfer it to you. You have to assess your life in the light of what you are listening, doing Shravanam at this moment. And while listening, process it. Come to a deep understanding that this is where my life is going and this is where I want to go. Make a deep prayer to the Lord. Please guide me in the right direction. Please guide me in the path of Shreyas. Please do not let me succumb to the path of pleasant. Make me aware when the pleasant is about to clutch me, engulf me. So he goes, such the one Mudaha who thinks of himself as very intelligent and well versed in scriptures, goes round and round in many crooked ways. What are the crooked ways? Teaching to make money. This is one way. Organizing lectures, like many on the TV you see, or you go around in India. Already the amount that I will come to your place. Oh, that Seth, that businessman is calling me. Tell him 25 lakhs, $100,000. Then I will come. Otherwise I will not come. This much dakshina has to be there. They collect donation for ashram. Oh, we are benefiting the whole world. Which world? Which does not exist. Have you perfected yourself that has God told you that you have to benefit the world? That you have to help the world? Did anyone come and ask you? Sannyasis are better marketeers than these advertising companies, because they have more wealth than the advertising companies. They create a need and then encash that need. Priests, today's sannyasis, if they are falling into this category, and encash the ignorance of people. Encash. Are we in that Are we in that group of people? Are we that sensoric one? These are the crooked ways. Before the lecture, do the arti. Auction. There are only 10 places left. Who will do the arti? Oh, this one is $250 per person. All you will do is you will be able to touch the arti. $250 to pay, $500 to pay to call for bhiksha. And cashing and cashing and cashing. Nothing wrong if someone gives, but to expect and demand, this is the crooked way. Beware. Don't. No, because majority of crowd is going to that Swami, majority of crowd is going to that ashram, majority of crowd is going to that particular temple or priest. Blind leading the blind. Sheep mentality. I'm not taking anything by name, but you all have experienced something or the other like this going on around. Not only in one religion, in all religions and in all faiths it is going on. It's a big business. Spirituality is not a business. Spirituality is personal. Spirituality is subjective. And the only reason they go for that is because they are not available to themselves. They are unaware of their own real nature, therefore they want a handout. And when they get a handout, they feel guilty without reciprocating, so they give something. And they think, if we give more, I will get a bigger handout, I will get bigger grace, I will get better, more importance. Blind leading the blind. Get caught up. In spirituality, there is no place for wealth, there is no place for relationships, and there is no place for name and fame. Putreshna, Vitteshna, Lokeshna. No place for this. Atha eva mudhatvat. And now, due to and because of this ignorance, न सांपराय प्रतिभाति बालम, न सांपराय प्रतिभाति बालम, प्रमाद्यन्तं वित्तमोहेन मूढ़ं, प्रमाद्यन्तं वित्तमोहेन मूढ़ं, अयं लोको नास्ति पर इति मानी, अयं लोको नास्ति पर इति मानी, पुनः पुनर्वशमापद्यते मे, पुनः पुनर्वशमापद्यते मे. Together. न सांपराय प्रतिभाति बालं, प्रमाद्यन्तं वित्तमोहेन मूढ़ं, अयं लोको नास्ति पर इति मानी, पुनः पुनर्वशमापद्यते मे. What does he say here? He says, the न सांपराय प्रतिभाति बालम प्रमाद्यंतम वित्तमोहेन मूढ़म, blinded by wealth, living a life of inadvertence, pramadyantam, vittamohena, the mudham is the deluded one, the one who is following the path of avidya, the one who is following the path of prayas, the one who is following the path of instant gratification, the pleasant. Such a person, blinded by the wealth or deluded by the wealth, and how do you call, pramad is inadvertent, and he doesn't know that he is doing it, that he is caught up in the greed of wealth, in the greed of, he is attached to the children, that he is attached to the body, that he is attached to the world, he is attached to the memories. He is doing it out of pramad. Pramad is forgetfulness, out of default. And who lives in default? The one who is not living alertly is living in default. And such a person who is living at default level is a murkha, is a moodha. Are we one of them? Upanishads are to wake us up where we are caught and to reascertain who we really are. यार ये तो दुखती रग के ऊपर बार बार Upanishad is continuously putting salt over the wound. From first verse, second verse, third verse, fourth verse, fifth verse, sixth verse, it's salt after salt after salt. It's painful, man. Until unless we don't realize and get disgusted with this cyclical life, with this continuous pursuit of wealth and relations and possessions and memories and expectations and body-oriented living, sense-oriented living, desire-oriented living, till we don't get disgusted of it, we will not move to the other direction, the Shreyas. The only purpose of mentioning it again and again with such intensity by the Lord, Nachiketa is already on the path of Shreyas. Then why he has to say all this? For our benefit. For our benefit. That we don't fall into this trap, so that we are able to recognize when these things come and demand attention. And such people who are caught up in wealth, children, animals, memories, etc., name and fame, such people never ever think about doing something to go to the higher realms. Forget moksha, they don't even work towards going to heaven. Then where are they? They are lost on the earthly plane. They are lost in their children, grandchildren, health, disease, hunger, thirst. Morning tea is more important than meditation. Breakfast is more important than satsang. What are our priorities in life? Note them down. Don't work it out in your head. Note them down, so that it's there in front of you in pen, in writing. Then you cannot say I forgot. It's written there. One person is there and their mind is playing with them. And she says, what can I do, Swamiji? I have to come out of it. I know I'm not going the right. So, few weeks walking there, here, there, and satsang going on, question answers, yes, rona dhona, yes, crying here. But I don't know, I want to get out of it. I've never been like this. Okay. What do we do? Now her homework is every day she has to email me. Don't do it all of you, only her. Every day reflect on your day, detect where you have been less than what you want to be, affirm how you want to be, and email me. And she last 3-4 days she is doing it. If it helps her, it helps her to turn around, fantastic. This self-assessment on the daily basis before going to sleep must be done. Then slowly it will become your natural vigilance throughout the day. Ayam loko nasti para iti mani. They believe this world is all that there is nothing else apart from this world. That there is nothing called heaven, there is nothing called God, there is nothing called realization, there is nothing called the self, which is of the nature of Satchidananda, nothing. No, what I see is what I believe. What I see is what I believe. Ayam lokaha na asti para iti mani. Other than this loka, this world, this earthly plane, this body on this earthly plane, with these children, with this wealth, with these memories, with these photographs, with these grandchildren, with these businesses and projects and possessions. This is all that there is. This is what I am. There is nothing else apart from this. Mani, they believe that way. Punah punarvashamapadyate me. Such people who believe in this manner, previous 3 verses, Lord of Death is telling Nachiket, such people fall into my trap again and again. And what is the trap of Lord of Death? That they fall into the trap of death again and again and again and again. Lord Death is telling. How more clearly can the Lord tell to us? How more clearly, succinctly? He is not telling, beta, I'm sorry I am telling you like this, but this is the truth. Nah, he is saying, yes, bombarding us. As he sees the whole thing. He is giving us a way out. If you don't follow the path of Nachiketa, you will be in my trap. And the trap is, death will come. And Nachiketa's question is going to take him beyond the death. And who can take him beyond the death? Only the instruction from death. Are we available to the death as a principle? Where one thought dies and the next thought has not come up yet. When the in-breath dies and the out-breath hasn't started yet. Death. When the day dies and night begins, that point. Or the night dies and the day begins, that point. Catch. Be available to the Lord. Be available to the principle of death. It will teach you. This is not an imagination. The Lord Death is there and there's no. You will learn if you make yourself available. Like Nachiketa made himself available. That capacity is there in you also to be available. When you will be available? When you stop living a life of default. When you are alert every moment. Not about the world. About the principle of death. We have to be fired up. That's the English way of saying it. You have to invoke the Nachiketa Agni. That is called being fired up. We must have his disposition. Keep thinking of this young boy. Automatically, his qualities will start percolating us. Be in awe of his personality. Be in awe of his innocence. Be in awe of his focused questioning. be in awe of his resilience, that he is not getting tempted by anything that the Lord is throwing at him. Automatically all those qualities will come to you. When you fall in love with the character, that's what actors do, no? They study the character. Someone is acting as Diana, another is acting as Maharana Pratap, another actor is acting as Krishna or Radha. They study that character so deeply that they and that character, they become one. This is what the acting is. You be one with Nachiket. Think about him, contemplate on him, understand him, what his disposition is, keeping the complete picture from the first verse of the Kathopanishad, all that we have told, his disposition towards his father, how he interacted with the words of his father, how he did not complain that when father said, "Go, I give you unto death," he never complained. He accepted it. Are we like that? Are we accepting of everything that life is throwing at us? And at this moment, life is throwing at you this satsang. Are we available to the truth? Are we available to the principle of death? At this moment, not tomorrow, not after the class, at this moment. न सांपराय प्रतिभाति बालम प्रमाद्यन्तं वित्तमोहेन मूढम् अयं लोको नास्ति पर इति मानी पुनः पुनर्वशमपद्यते मे. The Bhashya says, न सांपरायः प्रतिभाति. न सांपराय प्रतिभाति, that he is not available to the higher worlds, he is not available to other options. Option is Shreyas or Prayas. He is not available to the option of Shreyas. Whether you take it as self-realization, or you take it as God realization, or you take it as going to various heavens. But they are all options, no? Which are possible by following the path of Shreyas, which will necessarily require one to give up the Prayas. So the higher worlds, the higher possibilities are unavailable for such a person. Sampara iyata iti samparayah paralokah tat prapti prayojanah sadhana vishesha shastriyah samparayah. The way, samparayah, Samparaya means the other worlds, and what does it say? It says some means. What is that? Paraloka tat prapti prayojana sadhana vishesha shastriya samparaya. Some means pointed out by the scriptures, by the shastras, and leading to the and directing us, making us do the practices to attain those higher worlds, that is samparaya. And these do not, such a balam avivekinam pratina pratibhati na prakashate na upatishtata iti etat. that child, such a balam, that child, who is this child? The ignorant child. Who is this child? Indiscriminating child. He who has not invoked his discriminative ability. So he is ignorant like a child. Such a balam, avivekinam, pratina pratibhati, and to in front of these avivekinaha, in front of these non-discriminative people, these options of higher world, these ideas of higher world, the desire to achieve the higher world, they do not present themselves in front of such people. Now you think, I have made this is what the Upanishad is. Na upatishtata iti etat. No upatishtat. It does not come in front of them. That option doesn't become even available to them. It doesn't present itself to them. Now you feel, or you assess yourself, that in your life, I know most of you who are listening, masters have come into your life, temples have come into your life, scriptures have come into your life, understanding has come into your life. Somewhere in your heart, the desire to be more than who you are today is also ignited. Yes, at times it gets covered up by the world, but in general, otherwise you won't be here listening to the satsang. Don't think I studied the Upanishad. No, it is the Upanishad who has chosen us to present itself, because you and me were available. I was available to express it, you are available to listen to it. But the Upanishad has chosen us. And who is Upanishad? It is the Vani of the Lord. It is the speech of the divine. Don't have this audacity that I have studied Upanishads. No, Upanishad has chosen us. Jnaneshwar Maharaj has chosen us to study Amrit Anubhav, Bhagavad Gita, do the Parayan of Valmiki and Tulsi Ramayana. The Upanishads have chosen us to contemplate on them, because they feel, they must have seen that these fellows are available. Why not millions of others are studying it? Why only 15-20 of us in whole of Melbourne? Because it has seen that we are available. That's why. So it's not a, and don't make it into a ego trip. Oh, Upanishad has chosen me, Lord has chosen me. Puss, back to zero then. Live in that gratitude. Live in that gratitude. That whole life I was in the worldly way, and now by grace of divine, the Upanishads, the divine has chosen to present himself in front of me by way of satsang, by way of teacher, by way of understanding, by way of reorientation of my life towards the higher. You can hear, right? You can hear me? You can hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, so they have chosen us. Not we have decided we are going to do this. Whenever some text concludes, I never say we are going to do this. Let's see what comes. what wants to come and express? Which text wants to grace us? That's the right approach. And where there is gratitude, moment to moment, The breath has chosen us. It can stop next moment. What will you do? You can't catch it and say, no, enter me. If it doesn't want to, your life as you know it is over. But do we thank? Are you in that disposition of gratitude towards it? So here it says that it does not present itself, it does not uh, 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 grace the ignorant person. And who is this ignorant person? Who is carried away by the desires, carried away by the worldly entanglements, who is carried away by getting engrossed in what? Putra, Pashu Adi, etc. Who's engrossed in children, who's engrossed in animals, who's engrossed in uh, name and fame, who's engrossed in wealth. To such people, such ignorant people, it does not present itself. Pramadyantam pramadam kurvantam putra pashwadi prayojaneshu asakta manasam tatha vitta mohena vitta nimittena avivekena mudham tamasat channam santam. On the other hand, though not on the other hand, also the one pramadyantam pramadam kurvantam, the one who is continuously living at default level, he is living a default life, not an alert life. Alertness is not, when we say alert life, alertness not about which obstacles are coming. No. Alertness is always towards the conscious principle or the Lord God principle. That is alertness. That brings about alertness, and it will keep building up more and more alertness. But when we have become alert towards the world, we become multi-pointed and our alertness is destroyed. So here, pramadyantam pramadam kurvantam putra pashvadam. What is this pramad, this default living? This default living is whose mind is continuously attached to putra pashu, children and animals, and tatha vitta mohena, and also is deluded by or attached to the wealth. Vitta nimittena avivekena mudham. In other words, it is overpowered by ignorance. Ignorance is equal to attachment to putra, pashu, and wealth and name and fame. Ayameva tasmat channam santam. Ayameva lokaha यह अयम दृश्यमानः स्त्र्यन्नपानादि विशिष्टः न अस्ति परः अदृष्टः लोकः इति एवं मननशीलः मानी पुनः पुनः जनित्वा वशं मदधीनतामापद्यते मे मृत्योः मम. He says here that such a person who is living in that default ignorant life, he never thinks about what is after death. He never thinks of the other side. He never thinks of the higher, because he is so lost in this. And this woman, Stri Annapanadi Vishishtaha, अयम एव लोको यह अयम दृश्यमानः स्त्री अन्नपानादि विशिष्टः न अस्ति परः दृष्टो लोकः इति एवं. So here he says, this woman, this opposite sex, this food, drinks, whatever is seen, that alone is real. Materialist view of life is what I see is what I believe. Spiritual way of life is what I believe, I come to realize. Seeing, perceiving is gross. Believing is you are going beyond what is the norm here. You are believing that God is. Is it your experience? No. But you believe there is God. You believe there is heaven. You believe there is a self. Initially, everyone begins with ignorance only. Nobody knows, nobody has seen God, nobody has seen heaven, nobody has seen self in that manner, so to say. But we all begin with ignorance. Then how do you go towards these higher destinations? With faith. Right now we have faith in what we see. We must have faith in what we believe. And what is that is being introduced to us that we should believe in? The Upanishads say about higher worlds, about higher possibilities of expanded consciousness, of intuitive living. Believe and it will be yours. If that belief is solid, and you work towards that belief, it will. You believed that you will be a doctor, you believed that you will be a IT professional or this professional or that professional, and you work towards it because you believed it. That conviction, that belief prompted all the activities and all the energy to focus towards that particular goal. Then why are we? So when we have, if scriptures are saying, masters are saying, who have experienced what the scriptures are saying, they are seconding it, that whatever scriptures are saying is true, then we have to find that space in our heart from where to have this Shraddha. Towards that which is not our experience at the moment. It is very easy to have faith in what you see. Now, I have this phone, yeah, it's mine. If it's broken, no, it's not, I need a new one. Over. It's dead, it's gone. So he believes पर अदृष्टः लोक इति एवं मननशीलो मानी पुनः जनित्वा वशं मदधीनतामापाद्यते मे मृत्योर्मम. He says that this three, this food, drinks, etc., this is all real because I see them. It doesn't say I see them. These are all real. Apart from all this, nothing is real. There is nothing called Swarga. There is nothing called heavens. There is nothing called realization. There is nothing called God. Only what I see, that is real. And there are no other higher worlds. And the person who is having this type of conviction, such a person again and again becomes available to death. A simple statement. He says, what? Paraha adrishtah loka, meaning he does not accept there is higher worlds. Iti evam mananashilaha mani. Such a person who believes in his mind in this manner, what was told before, punah janitva, again and again he comes into the clutches of death, comes into the clutches of mind, because Lord Death is speaking. Are we one of those? Or are we working to be free before it's too late? For that, corresponding urgency is required. Just wishful thinking will not take you anywhere. Hoping will not take you anywhere. Mere expectation does not take you there. You have to work towards it. You have to work towards it. You have to spend that time. You have to do the sadhana. You have to contemplate. You have to reflect. You have to remove whatever doubts that are keeping your mind entangled in the worldly way. And not slowly. Sort it out once and for all. Finish. Story over. जनन मरणादि लक्षण दुःख प्रबंधारूढ़ एव भवति इति अर्थः प्रायेण ह्येवं विध एव लोकः. That he is ever riding. Here when he says what janana maranadi lakshana dukkha prabandha arudha, he is riding on the horse of birth, death, etc., which lakshana, and what are its expressions? Dukkha. He is riding on that misery continuously, which is coming from birth and death, coming and going, manifestation and manifestation, attachment and detachment. One moment I am attached to my wife, next moment attached to my children, next moment attached to my parents, next attachment to my body, then to hunger, then to thirst. Too much, man. So I am riding the horse of dukkha. How nicely is written. He is so he is he is riding the horse of birth and death, which is of the nature of dukkha, and this particular loka, which is this loka, this physical, the earthly plane. The earthly plane. If we are attached to it, and earthly plane is which you take in through your senses and through your mind. It is of this nature alone. What is the nature? Birth, death and misery. If it clicks, well and good in this class. Otherwise, same topic is going to be in next Upanishad also. From a different angle. Which one will? No, I will wait for the next one. This was too straight. It was too direct. Next one will be even more. Upanishads are not there to sissy you. No, my darling, I don't mean it, but actually, this world is of the nature of misery. Do you understand? You don't understand? No problem. Continue and we will look after. Again, I'll come tomorrow and then we'll spend some time. No compassion. Compassion, the scriptures are not here for being compassionate. They have got only one purpose, to make us realize that we are the infinite. You want compassion? You go to Puranas. Upanishads are mirror to us, where we are caught up and who we really essentially are. they present the mirror to us. And there's no ambiguity in their expression. No ambiguity whatsoever. So in this manner, we have seen what is, where are we? We have seen that what is the state of people, those who are clutched by avidya, those who are following the path of prayas, they are those who are following the path where they consider what they see, what this world is as real, and do not accept that there is something higher, something noble, something more expansive, something more fulfilling apart from this world. So this verse was only about that. Now next verse will be, I think that goes on, continues to explain that a little bit more. We'll look at it in our next class. Perfect timing. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Swamiji.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Swamiji.